Hey, what's up? It's the Dirty South Podcast. We are back. Jason, Grant, Cabra, SE Wrestling, yours truly, Ward Wrestling. Man, how you guys doing?
You know, it's good. It's good. The first of the year, and we roll right into duels. And I know you guys down in Florida are focused on duels and your duels and Braves that just happened and everything else. But I'll tell you, like, it's not just Florida. I mean, Georgia's got a full slate of duels for their first round, and Alabama's already got teams that are qualified for their duels, and they do something a little different. We're going to talk about it as we get into talking about the duels and stuff like that. But for me, it's my favorite time of the year because I love duels. I think duels are great. I think they're the best thing around for the sport. They could be super exciting and kind of engaging to the average person who kind of, like you go into a tournament and it kind of looks like just chaos. I mean, if you're not really used to it, you see all these mats going on and everything else. Duels make sense. So I'm doing
Yeah,
great. I'm really
lot,
looking forward to the next couple of
lots
weeks.
of lots of fun. I know Brant loves the state duels. It's his favorite tournament. But
It
Brant,
is.
Florida
It's
State duels have started. The
they have.
What's going on
Um
there?
and I'm well, just in case you're wondering.
No.
I'm almost I'm almost back to 100%. I made the difficult decision to not drive to Winter Haven this past week and missed all the fun that you got to witness. But at the same time, I brought my health back to a bit of a level.
To a low
Uh,
baseline.
yeah, I got back to the baseline, and I
92%.
and I'm caught back up at least enough to handle this week. But yeah, district duels. Today's the busiest day of district duels. We have 15 tonight. There's still 33 districts out of the 48 that still need to be competed. Some big ones we're going to talk about in Florida that have some interests that I have some interest in, including the one probably everybody's interested in, which is 3A16. But yeah, I love duels. I
Mhm.
love the state duels tournament. I it is the fan friendliest version of wrestling. It is the best team version of wrestling. Um, some of the best moments as a media person watching wrestling are watching teams during duels and
Yeah.
reactions and investment and um, you can tell which teams are really invested too, and you can see the closeness of a team, and they're just so much fun, and they're so much different than IBT, and it's not a knock on IBT because obviously I love that too, but there's just something really unique about duels. I grew up around duels up in Northeast Ohio, where half the town was there for duels, so it's always been a draw of mine, and it just keeps getting bigger with the state duels.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree too. And it's crazy because obviously wrestling is like the biggest individual team sport, right? But it's but you get to see the, like you said, kind of that closeness of a team when they're roaring on the side and kids are on their knees on the side of the mat and the whole team seems to be coaching that one kid that's out there. And yeah, it's kind of fun
I mean,
to
and it comes
watch.
down to how you win and how you lose. I mean, last night you had a district duel between the final between Osceola Fundamental and Pinellas Park, and it came down to criteria. And the criteria was max points won. And so they
Wow.
somehow got to 40. One of them did with a certain amount of 6 point wins, the other did with one less 6 point win and that determined the district champ. I mean, just crazy. I can't imagine what it was like to be there through that. But yeah, I mean, every little thing matters. It's not just about winning and advancing. It's how you win. It's how you lose. It's how you stay in matches. It's the one time coaches get to really do like strategy and coaching, and they come in and especially we'll see like in the next 2 weeks with the region quarters and semis and the state duels that we'll be at. Moving guys up by like zero point 0.1 pound at the last minute, and so they can wrestle,
Two
two
weights
weights
up.
up without
Yeah.
without messing up their calendar. I mean, it's fantastic, and just thinking about some of these duels already that have been exciting.
Yeah.
at the district level, and good for the fans and the people involved to get to experience that.
Well, and I can't wait to hear you speak about some of these duels coming up. But I think we owe it to the Braves to start with the
Yes,
Braves, and
my
I think
goodness.
what a tournament! I think it is the knockout minus Georgia, Alabama,
Yeah, I mean, it's the best in
the out of
state,
state.
definitely.
I mean, look, we didn't have Somerset and Tampa Jesuit, but everybody else was there, and
And
You
you
didn't
didn't
have
have a
Matter
Matter
either.
Lakes. Matter
Yeah.
Lakes was
Matter
they
Lakes.
just
We didn't have Matter Lakes. But there was a sprinkling of Matter Lakes, but it
it was a
wasn't the
single
big
Matter Lakes wrestler.
and
They won
two girls.
13.
But it
Well, on the
wasn't
girl side, yeah.
it wasn't the team, right? Yeah. So those three weren't there,
But I
but
mean, I mean, 69 teams on the boys side, 50 some on the girls. Um, the girls, some of those weight classes were so deep, but on the boys side, like you said, as someone who spent I think 7 total hours on the tournament noting it, um, the difference between it and a knockout, which for me was fun and I liked it better because I don't know other states, but every single wrestler at that tournament was a Florida high school wrestler, and some of those weight classes were beyond tough.
I mean,
So
from the
really good,
quarterfinals on was crazy.
yeah, really a great measuring stick for a lot of guys to see where they're at,
Well,
and
not
it's funny. I
not
think
just
that
guys though.
well,
I'm
the
talking
girls too,
about, but I'm talking about the teams too,
yeah.
because you know you get in the team race at the knockout, and Jefferson's doing something or Camden County's doing something. And you're looking at it going, well, what would have happened if these two Florida teams were just in a Florida tournament? Like what would have happened? You kind
Well,
of got
we
that with
learned a little bit of
this.
that. I mean, congrats to Southridge.
Yeah.
We've talked about them on our podcast probably more than people expected. I kind of saw it coming, but then Ryan Merritt going off to college early and a couple other different moves, but they're just as deep as we thought they could be, if not maybe more so.
Hmm.
And edged the Lake Gibson team that was pretty full too. I mean, a lot of fun, and that brings us around to what we're going to talk about later with
Right.
3A16 district duels this week and Southwest
Well,
Miami and South Dade in there.
right, and there was a lot of Southridge Southwest matchups going deep into this tournament, and
Hmm.
uh, so it went Southridge's way this time. Um, but it could have, if Southwest picks up a couple of those wins, um, who knows, right? So
Well, and
it's
the
going
other
to
thing
be
I think that people need to keep in mind is you can't simply go, well, the Southridge kid here took second, and the Southwest kid here took fourth, or the South Day kid here took, sixth, or whatever the case is. You if they didn't meet one another, matchups matter. I mean, we've
Yeah.
all
right,
seen that happen. So just because you finish ahead of someone in the tournament doesn't mean that when it comes down to a duel in somebody's gym on a Thursday night when all the like everything matters, that something different doesn't happen. So we could glean information from this about what the duels will look like, but there is a point at which you're like, well, it's a whole other ball game. It's a different situation.
right.
I'm just
Well, I mean,
looking real quick. Southridge did have 3 wins in matches against Southwest Miami. I'm trying to see if they went 3-0. They went 3-1 um, on the
right.
weekend
So
against
those are the
Southwest
ones
Miami.
that I saw that went Southridge's way this time.
I mean,
So
I
yeah,
mean, maybe, and you may have seen this because you were there. Maybe one of the matches of the day, Eddie Estrada from Southridge, Alejandro Ravello, Southwest Miami at 106, 22-18 in the quarterfinals. I
insane.
mean, that could go anywhere on Thursday. I mean, but that's what's making all this so exciting. I when I did my IBT rankings for teams, which are now live on my site, they're all close, and you could move them around, and I mean, this year is just so thrilling on the team side too.
I
So
mean,
your
another
IBT rankings are updated on your
They
site?
are, and then they're updated in your email too.
Oh, they're
yes,
updated in my email?
yeah.
Yeah, you got special team rankings in your
All
email.
four emails that we got this morning.
Yes.
that he
See,
said
you got a
on the
rested
text
a
messages.
relatively rested me. I had my rankings done at 9 a.m. this week and not 9 p.m. on Tuesday.
Oh, you got
Uh,
one email.
And then you've got look
check your
ahead at
check your
stuff. You
spam, I
have an
guess.
IBT. You have the rankings. The
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the great matches too was Chang and Jeremio 12-10.
oh.
Yeah.
That was a South Dade Southridge matchup. There was a lot, but anyway, let's talk about the Braves because man, it was absolutely loaded. I remember just sitting there for the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals, and there might have been times where I forgot to take pictures because the matches were just so so darn good. And
Well, do you want to jump out with some
Yeah, you were on the
finals or
ground,
guys
Dan.
that got you, and then we can list a few we have.
well, I mean, the one match that was unbelievable was in I think it was the quarterfinals or the semifinals. Quarterfinals was Draven Thompson and Jasper Kroom. Thompson is winning with 15 seconds left, and Kroom
Is that the Granby like little clip I
get,
saw?
gets the takedown
Oh,
and
yes.
uh,
Okay.
and wins that one. That was good. Brock Dalen getting Elijah Castagnon at the buzzer was one I remember. Um,
132 was insane. I
Insane.
mean, 132 was as crazy a bracket as they had there.
Yeah,
And Kroom came out on top as he seems to keep on doing.
yeah, he
He's
dug deep
locked in.
there. And then I don't know, there was so much. I mean, obviously Soto at 120 was absolutely loaded. You had three state champs and a Fargo All-American in the semifinals. And it was
And a kid he
crazy.
had lost to in the finals that he avenged
Yeah.
the loss.
Yeah, in a close match.
Yeah.
He and Lytle. So I mean I could just go through the whole thing, but it's there was a lot of fun. And then obviously on the girls' side, there was a bunch of fireworks too. So just shout out to Danny Walker and his team. I mean, wow, what a great tournament it was.
So, Brant, what stuck out?
Almost that we'll do boys and then we can go to girls side.
Okay.
Jackson Newton, Christian Soto,
Yeah.
finals at 285, ultimate tiebreaker. Soto's first match of the year. I was told he'd be 215. I don't know where he is right now, but he started at 285 and he may stay there, with Merritt gone and just to come out in your first tournament and give everything to Newton. Both those performances stood out to me. Um, I'm gonna make Ward happy, be the first to mention George Jenkins on the show. Ray Shaw, just continuing his senior tour and against a really good Kyle Gallo. A shame we won't see him on an FHSAA level this year, but I imagine that final was as good as it looked on the
Yes.
stat sheet. Um, I'm trying to, there's one or two other ones you mentioned, at 20 and Soto. I want to point this out because Jason loves this stuff. Jake Austin outscored everybody in the tournament, most points scored from any wrestler. Uh,
Dominated.
just dominated a really good 144 weight class and just made it his. And then the other one is Adrian Rojas, a seventh grader, Miami Christian, um, beating a bunch of 3A kids and winning at 113
And unseated.
and unseated coming in.
Unseated coming in, man. Only kid I think that was unseated who placed like in the top four. I mean, he was, well, no, that's not true. But unseated, definitely the only one that won it that was unseated. I love kids that sit like somewhere in the bracket and they are the bad seed and they figure out how to like knock everybody else off as they go along. And the other thing that you obviously mentioned Jake Austin, who was I was going to talk about, but I also love the kids who and I don't know if this is from a coach's perspective or why I feel this way, but I really like to see. For me, it's a measure of the culture of a team and those sorts of things, and that is kids who lose early on team, whether they lose early and they're on a team that is going to be in the hunt, or they
Right.
lose early and they're not on a team that's going to be in the hunt, which makes it even harder to kind of battle their way back through, which is also super impressive. But Jordan Harrison from Lake
Yes.
Gibson lost super early, and then he won 7 in a row to make the Conci finals. And I'm telling you right now, if you if you got a kid on your team, and Lake Gibson is going to need these kinds of kids that are deep. You got your Chavis, you've got your Tyler Whites, you've got Archie Phelins, you got all these different individuals on that team, but you got these kids who will fight back through at a tournament or know their job, whether that's to eke out a 1 point win in a duel or to fight off your back because you happen to draw, an absolute hammer or whatever the case is. I love the fact that you've got these kids who will fight tooth and nail all the way back through a bracket because it's hard to lose early in a 64-man bracket and still make top four.
He lost his first match, beat the kid second time around. But listen, you talk about guys doing it. Lake Gibson, they had a ton do that. Matthew Bath lost in the second round, wins his next four, doesn't make it to the podium, but those are four
Right.
wins on the backside.
Right. It tells you something about the program.
Yeah. Gerald Cervantes, Buene, he loses in championship round 3, makes it back to the Conti semis, ends up placing 6th. That's 4 straight wins on the backside for him. Spencer Tim, 4 straight wins on the backside. There's one other one that stood up. Mason DeSandolo,
Yeah.
4 straight wins on the backside. That is culture. And guess what, folks? In March, that's what wins state tournaments sometimes.
That's
And
right.
we've seen it happen. And these guys are showing that they can do it, in a tough tournament like this. And it goes a long way to telling you what kind of team culture they have there.
Yeah, what
One
was
of the
good to
things that,
me was
go ahead.
a lot of classification matchups, like 2A 5 versus 6, 3A 7 versus 9,
Yeah.
2A 1 versus 2, 1A 3 versus 6. We saw a lot of stuff that we're going to see in March. Kind of a preview of that. It was pretty cool.
One of
State
the things
ranking's
that
fun.
one of the things that I love is that you know kind of where Southridge is and you know where Gibson is in Southwest Miami and South Dade is creeping back. They're
We
still
don't know
missing
where they are.
pieces
Yeah.
and all of those sorts of things. You know how good Charlotte is, but that next tier of teams that are going to play a huge role. And here it was, Palm Harbor and Orlando Freedom and Harmony and Lemon Bay, Riverdale, all making the top 10, Separate Hills Christian. But I'm looking at those teams, those 5 teams, and really thinking, they've got a team to be able to finish top 10 here. They've got a team that will be competitive against pretty much anybody else in the state. Now, I don't know if they'll beat them or not, but those are teams that you if you're a coach, you want to be paying attention to, I think, because man, if you draw them or you see them at your region or something like that, they're going to be tough if you haven't seen them before now.
Yep.
Yeah, I
All right.
think on the Harmony is one school that on the boys and the girls side really impressed me. I think they had some really tough kids. They had one kid that's on Grant's biggest jump list, and
Yeah.
the 2 little twins. I think
Well,
they're
not twins, because one's a junior, one's a freshman. But yeah, the
Oh, but
brothers
the two
at
little
106,
Rodriguez
one of
brothers.
them is going to be able to wrestle. I don't know where the other one's going to go because they've got top guys at 13 and 20. But they had 2 kids place at 106.
Right.
Impressive performance.
Definitely. Definitely.
But I mean, they
All
could
right.
be twins, and just it took 2 years for them to be born.
Maybe.
On the girls' side, and I wrote
Yes.
this in my opening, which was Freedom has been the team. They have been the team all season long. South Dade again starting to pull the teams together, and I know Dan had a conversation with Coach Bush. He's like, it's early, we're not going
Yeah.
to draw any conclusions yet, and he's right, and he knows that South Dade that's got the pieces. Whether the pieces come together and actually form into this juggernaut that we kind of expected to, well, we saw it, and we saw it this weekend at Braves. Now, again, to be fair, Freedom was missing their hammer at heavyweight, right?
think
Um,
Freedom was down 2 starters. South Day was 1 or 2 down.
yeah,
Um,
but it
but
gives you a sense. It's
yes.
closer.
Oh, and which is what I said last week.
Yeah,
Right. When I stammered through it, or when you asked me if it was Freedoms, I'm like, well, right now they're number one, but this shows you, and as the tournaments get deeper, which I think for girls, really, the next time we'll really probably see this will be state. Um, it all those little places start adding up, and having someone like a Willow White, and in this case Kenzie Barrett with the win, those are a lot of points, and
yeah.
that's what Freedom is going to be matched up with, is trying to get their deeper numbers to score more points, because South Dade is going to have some on top of the podium, I think, when March comes,
I
and
agree.
Freedom may too.
No, I mean, and I think many of us are really, we've now seen that 235-pound match twice.
Twice.
And, um, we didn't get to see it this past weekend, but, that it is possible, folks. I mean, no Nostradamus here, but it is possible that that is the 235 final and is the deciding
Determines the
match
team.
in who wins the team title. So,
Yeah, that would be, maybe we'd have more stick around for the heavyweights, which people should stay for those.
I
Yeah, I mean,
And
sorry.
what were you gonna
Go
say? I
ahead.
was just gonna list some people that
I
stood
was
out
just gonna
before.
say, and shout out to Harmony. They put six girls in the placing matches. I mean, they had a great tournament. I was impressed with them throughout the whole tournament. Their fight, their grit, and they got some tough girls, man. Tough girls. I know they got a lot of is it seniors, juniors, and seniors? I think, or seniors that are tough, and they're wrestling like it's their senior year.
Couple, and as mentioning team, St. John Newman came in third, another
yeah.
top performance by them.
Yeah.
Couple that stood out to me, well, obviously 100, which seems to be tough every week. Rebecca Marin has beaten number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 8, I think, in my rankings. And she wrestled Paola Perez, and they had wrestled, not officially yet this year. They'd wrestled at Seahorse. They wrestled again. She wins 5-1, really kind of putting her kind of a lock at least on the favorite as of now. Kira Partella with a big win in the finals against Grigori from Freedom, wins 1-0. That one stood out to me.
And that was a rematch from the third place match, the knockout.
Yeah.
Yes. Another one that stuck out. Kaylani Barrientos.
Six ducks.
Duck.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kaylani Barrientos, huge weekend. Pins Shamari Smith, beats ranked girls up and down the line to win at 135, and impressing in that one. And it just also, we mentioned Kenzie, but Riley Lancaster comes back after missing a few weeks. She wins at 170. And Emily McCormick, Windermere, proves a 16-2, knocks off some girls that were ranked above her to win at 155.
Lowest seed to win the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, something that obviously blows my mind. I mean, first of all, shout out to Rebecca. I mean, she's just having one hell of a season, and she wrestled just a great match in the finals. And congratulations to her on that win. Paola had a great tournament, beat Stokey 3-0 to make it to the finals, and I'm sure we're going to see those two many more times. But impressive to me, look, Tammy Rice is having a unbelievable season so far.
Yes.
Yeah, she is.
She's just doing what she's doing. And then there's Willow White. I mean, how good is Willow White?
I think she's pretty good. She won Beast of the East.
So actually, I think that what I think you're alluding to is what I'm kind of thinking about. What I was going to bring up, and that is, there are a few girls. There are it's a little bit different on the girl side than it is on the boy side. On the girl side, you have Abby Gonzalez, you have Willow White, you have Eiley Briggs.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have many others that are, you feel like a guarantee going to win the entire thing. And that's what you're kind of talking about with Willow
What
White. I
like
mean,
I mean, she is
Rice is
yes.
wrestling
I
great,
mean,
but White is just the
Yeah.
distance
wow.
between her and everyone else is
Yeah.
huge. It just
Yeah.
is.
I mean, it feels
I'd argue
like
Jaslyn Diaz is getting close
No, I agree with you. And I
to
was going
that
to say
thought
that
too.
Jaslyn Diaz has wrestled fantastic.
She's one that you can start thinking as being a bigger favorite.
I
I
mean,
agree.
Cammy has just,
I
we got to
rocketed
see
from. I
her
mean,
and
I've had people
yeah.
write me and they're like, what happened? I mean, they remember her from even Super 32 early entry, and she's next leveled, and she just looks so great out there wrestling, and
I
she's
mean,
getting
she
big wins,
wrestled
and
so good against Paula. And I mean, Paula almost caught her on the end there, but she rolled through it. But she was winning convincingly, and that was she just seems like she's the best of the rest. But then to see Willow White win that match 16-3 or whatever it was impressive. But shout out to Cammy, obviously, great season to her.
another
Um,
name, Savannah Porter,
Hmm.
another revenge win, beating Ariana Ruiz. They may face each other a few more times. She wins the final at
So
125.
we can bounce around and talk about a few other Florida tournaments, but before we do that, I definitely want to talk about two events that were
Yes.
outside of the state of Florida that had Florida teams. But you know, and first was Powerade, and Lake Highland Prep goes up to Powerade. Powerade to me is probably the number two toughest tournament in the entire country, behind the Ironman, and they beat everybody. I mean, Lake Highland Prep beat every single team. And then I don't know if you guys know this because it's not really in the I mean, they're not part of the FHSAA, so you're not maybe not as paying as close attention. But they just added Seamus Reagan to their squad in the last few days,
Hmm.
and Seamus Reagan is signed with Iowa and I mean, this team, Lake Highland Prep, to me, just demonstrated they are the best team in the country. I mean, with Seamus Reagan now in that lineup, I don't know. I know they took fourth at Ironman. It's possible that Faith Christian out of Pennsylvania is still in front of them, but I'm telling you what, that squad right there, from top to bottom, it maybe a little bit challenged up top, maybe compared to where they were last year or whatever with Alex Smith and Jacob Levy and that sort of thing. But they've got some young studs up top. And I'll tell you what, Lake Highland Prep is super, super good. So we'll
yeah,
start with
and
them.
and and
They are,
how good has Charlie DeSena been?
oh, he's been
I
fantastic.
mean,
And he won
the
it
only
at
person,
152
I think the only loss we've seen him have this year is two losses to
to Bo.
yep. And
Yeah.
Zeno Moore is always up there, and obviously Liam, and we could go down their lineup, but yeah, they have been very impressive on the national circuit, and I agree with you, Grant.
Yeah, I'm letting you guys. I didn't look at Powerade results. I
Yeah, it's
couldn't
all
find
good.
them.
The other thing is that they weren't the only team out of the Southeast who went up to Powerade and had a really good weekend. Baylor took 11th. Jensen Beach went up there. St. John Newman was up there. Science Hill out of Tennessee, Athens Christian, they were all up there. But the other team that surprised me at Powerade, not surprised, is, and I've got to figure out a way to get them back at the knockout, and that is Cleveland, Tennessee's girls team took second overall at Powerade. And I
Wow.
remember a couple years back when they were coming down, and there was some Facebook chatter back and forth about how this team was better than Cleveland and all these sorts of things. I'm telling you what, man, Josh Boskin and his Cleveland crew, I mean, they have graduated Piper Fowler, who won a world title, and they haven't slowed down at all. That team is absolutely the best team, in my opinion, in the Southeast for on the girls' side. They are fantastic. And to go to Powerade and take second, have three champs, and it might have been Hilton, Caroline Hilton, who's from Cleveland, might have. No, she didn't lose to Willow White. She beat Willow White at Ironman. And then Willow went to Beast of the East, and Caroline went to Powerade. So, anyway, so that was that. And then I got one more for you guys, and that is, and this has a little bit of Florida flavor in there, and that is the Prep Slam.
Yeah, in
Um,
Atlanta.
and the Prep Slam, if you guys don't know, in Atlanta at Holy Innocents, a great event. Baylor, Tennessee, man, that is a fantastic team. Between Baylor and Cardinal Gibbons, I think they had 7 or 8 of the champions. Most of them came from Baylor. Obviously, the two Mako boys up at 215 and 285 grabbed a couple of titles. Christian Brothers out of Tennessee. They had some Texas teams in there. They always bring prep schools from all over the country. But and I'm going to give you a clue at how good 126 was at Prep Slam. Okay, Chris Swan or Gabe Swan, who won the knockout a couple of years ago at Central Carroll, won it for Baylor. He beat out the number one ranked or one seed Alex Chu from St. John's out of Texas. But Swan had to beat Eric Perez 5-4 in the like round of 16 or the quarterfinals. Perez ends up coming back for fifth, losing to Sam Combs on the backside and so on and so forth. But that is how good some of these brackets were at Prep Slam. I mean,
Well,
fantastic.
we got a Rocco Ruiz sighting. Looks like he's
We
back.
did. We got a Rocket
He,
Ruiz sighting.
he made the finals, so shout out to him. Also, a team that traveled out to Conestoga Valley High in Pennsylvania and took a team title there was Tampa Jesuit. So shout out to Tampa Jesuit taking a ride out of the state and getting another win for the season. So we had a lot of Florida and well, Dr. Southeast will keep us in the loop with the rest of the people. But
Hey, and shout out to Wellington. I mean, Wellington went up to
Yeah.
the Clash. I love the Clash. I love it's a great event, and they went up and competed in at Wellington. I still don't understand it though. I mean, I guess if I'm a South Florida person or if I'm a Florida person and going to go see snow and that sort of thing, that's great. But if I'm a North person, like if I live in freaking Ohio, I'm coming to
Coming to
Florida.
Florida.
I'm not. I'm coming to the Southeast. I'm coming to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm not going freaking north.
yeah, when do you think that out of state schools will infiltrate the Braves?
You know what? I actually hope that Danny, Coach Walker, and all of them. I love that it's a Florida tournament. I
Yeah.
mean, I love the fact that I wouldn't want to purposefully keep anyone out, but you get a lot of information on the Florida side of things by seeing it as a Florida only tournament, and that's
Yeah.
good.
And
We
it's-
have the
and
we have the
I,
knockout. You don't need to be that.
I know that they said they're working on the dates next year. I don't know when they are, but January 2nd and 3rd is an interesting weekend or interesting dates to have a tournament. I mean, you jump into New Year and it's the Braves, and I thought that was kind of fun too, coming out of the break.
Mhm.
And you have a high end tournament going in, and then a high end tournament coming out.
Well,
and there,
it,
it was the first time that I really got to see Jackson Hackett up close, the 106,
Yes,
and he tough little sucker man.
it actually kind of reminds me. This is what I was equating in my head when you said that, Brant. Was that it kind of reminds me of the scuffle at UTC, the Southern Scuffle on the college level. That kind of it became the kind of New Year's Day college bowls type of event for college wrestling, and that's what Braves has kind of become down in Florida
Well,
for that, and that's pretty cool. But I
and
will say, the
speaking
scuffle
of
was
the
awesome,
scuffle,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do you know how many Southeast kids at the scuffle made noise? Made
Oh,
some big noise.
yes.
I mean, I saw names everywhere. A few Lake Highland Prep kids, a few Southeast kids. I saw Elijah Lowe from UTC had a lost on riding time to the number one seed, 3-1.
Yeah, if you weren't at the scuffle, you missed out because it was I mean, you won an all-star event of former Southeast kids that I mean, and then you brought Penn State didn't bring their ones, but man, their twos. Woo.
and I
it's like
think
the
there was some Tampa
Camden
Jesuit.
County of
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, they
and
are
I think there
impressive
was
as
some Tampa
hell.
Jesuit. what was Crooks there?
Yeah,
DeCientos was they?
Crook,
Yeah,
I think took second at 141.
yeah. I mean, it was impressive. And for college this coming weekend, don't we have national duels coming up?
National duels this weekend, yes. And
And then
we've got some good duels for the Southeast teams from
yeah, speaking of
national
that,
duels with Southeastern, and I think St. Thomas is in the bracket from Florida. Life is in the bracket. NAI duels will be fantastic, but I mean, I'm looking at D2 stuff because you got Lander and you've got other programs from down in this
yeah,
area, and then a D1. Man, you and I, Doug Schwab and all of them up there, they have recruited a lot of kids from the Southeast, and there's
yeah,
a lot of kids on that team who are doing things for
yeah.
you and I. So,
Yeah, and obviously I keep an eye on D3 because I have a son that
yep, that's
wrestles there,
right.
and
Yeah, that's right.
I do some work for them.
And
But
are they in the They're in the bracket, right?
yep, they're in the bracket. And also, speaking of duels, we're going to give Brant the leeway here to tell us how great these upcoming duels are going to be in Florida. But one great tri duel to keep an eye on, and I'd have to reach out to Lake Island Prep to see if it's something that can be
Yeah.
watched through any type of circuit. But them, St. Ed's, and Blair up at Blair for a tri duel, that's going to be unbelievable for the sport to have those three teams on the stage and doing
Well, they
that.
did it a
So
year ago at Lake Island Prep.
right, right. So it was on TV then, or streaming service or whatever it was then. So I'd imagine it will be. So, guys, I know we've been pushing RAF, and we need to show our support with something like that comes into Florida. But if you have a chance to get on your phone and you want to see a real cool duel, that's going to be one. But we've got some really awesome duels coming up today. This week, take it away, Brad Parsons of Cobra Wrestling, where you can see all the action at CobraWrestling.com.
No one
Well,
covers
and
the
it
duels like
is
I.
today. I mean, really.
Brackets are up. He's got all the brackets up on Cobra Wrestling, so you can follow it, and it's pretty easy.
I think they're nice looking brackets too. I spent a lot of time putting them together this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. I know, Jason, you're watching duels this week. I think Georgia does most of theirs on the weekend.
Yeah.
And Florida will be almost done by the weekend. There are 2 on Saturday, 3 on Friday. Tonight, we've got 15 duels. Tomorrow night, 13. But so far, I want to give credit to the ones that did this while we were watching other things. In 3A, Flagler, Palm Coast, Palm Harbor last night, Bloomingdale, Venice, Wellington, South Broward, and Doral. All are
Doral.
3A champs. Doral beat Columbus. South Broward beat South Plantation. I was going through, and nearly every single one of them, based on my team rankings, I got wrong. So just really great district duels going on. Usually like 6 versus 7, and 7 beat 6, but I was off on a lot of them. 2A champs: Middleburg, Winter Springs, East River, Osceola Fundamental, as I mentioned from last night. Heritage back as district champs: Jensen Beach, Archbishop McCarthy. Notables in that: Winter Springs. They beat New Smyrna Beach to retake their title, and also the criteria one from last night. And the first 1A champ was crowned last night, and I'll have a story on them coming later today. Baker County, new coach, same kind of thing they've been building there. It's a deep team atmosphere, and they won 1A3. I believe their second or third district duels title in the last couple of years.
So, one thing that I want to mention before we jump into tonight's duels, and it is tonight, so everybody who is watching this, you might be getting it after the fact, but that's the way that works. If you look back at the East River Edgewater Gateway District, um, and I think there was another one. It might have been Venice's district, where you can see if you go into the details of it
Yeah.
that the matchups of the teams really matter,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Gateway gave East River all they could handle,
Mm-hmm.
but they lost to Edgewater, and East River beat both of those teams. So even though Gateway matched up better with East River and almost knocked them off, they they didn't make it out of the district,
Correct.
right? And over in Venice, Venice rolled to theirs, but the three teams behind them all lost to one another
Yes.
because of the way that it matches up. And so when we begin to talk about this, and I know I've said this so many times for people who have listened to us, you know, doing your job in a duel is super, super important because bonus points, especially in some of these duels, are they're just so important. It's so close in so many of these duels. And and the fact that you are able to fight make it a 10-3 match and 7 point difference instead of
Yep.
eight, and that one single point can sometimes be
Yeah.
all the difference in the world in a duel. You got beat for 6 minutes. You lost 10-3, but your ability to fight and it being 10-3, hugely important.
Huge
Huge. So anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's a great segue because as we are talking, it is Wednesday and there's two big ones tonight where I feel exactly what you said matchups, and one of them is 1A2, and you have Volcola, who is ranked at number 8 in my rankings now. They're going up automatically because they beat Cardinal Gibbons really well at the Bobby Stanley duels.
Yeah, they
Volcola,
look good.
they look really good, and they line up, and they're pumped for this. They've been on their social media. They've been pumped for this district uh, meeting. Florida High is there. Sewanee is there. It's at Florida High. That is tonight, Wednesday. One of those teams is probably a top 10, top 15 team that's not going to advance even to next week. And that is one that intrigues me because of what you said, the matchups and how each team matches up against each other. This is one where coaches may already be trying to move guys around because that's how big and tough this district duel is. The other one tonight to watch out for, Pace and Gulf Breeze. 2A1, you would think they'll be 1-2. Be curious how they play out. That one's at Crestview. That stands out tonight. 15 total ones tonight. So I'll be busy chasing all of them. Then tomorrow, 13 and a few that stand out. And one of the last one, at least, we'll talk about. If you want to talk about any other ones, we can also. We have 1A8 tomorrow at Space Coast. That includes Cocoa Beach and Merritt Island. 1A14 at Matter Lakes and Cardinal Gibbons. Remember last year, this was a very tight district meeting between them. Matter Lakes will not want it to be tight again. 3A9 sticks out to me because I think it'll be close at the top. Freedom and Harmony. Freedom is showing that they have some real depth. Harmony has some real hammers. I don't know if they're as deep as they've been in years past. I know they had a few guys that they're expecting back that aren't there. So we'll see how that matches up and where guys weigh. And then the big one, 3A16 taking place at Southridge, Southdade, who has not lost a district duels. Southwest Miami, who's been second every year in 3A16, and Southridge, who just won the Braves Invitational as a team title. We have to talk about that one. If there's any other ones you guys want to discuss, we can do that also.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously 3A16. I mean, we got to cover that in a second. One thing I will say, the Cocoa Beach Merritt Island duel. So this is that's a potential state final. I mean, they're both super super talented teams. They're gonna see each other this week, and
They'll see
then
each other next week.
and then that's the thing that's unfortunate is they're gonna see each other again, and likely, like we're gonna say likely. I mean,
Likely.
there's no
Right.
guarantee of what's gonna happen. And this is where I find it really interesting. In the state of Alabama, once they get to the final eight, I think it is, they switch things up and they
Nice.
move them within the bracket. So you don't see that same team, even though they're from the same district or whatever up here they call it a region, which is the district level down in Florida. And I like that because if you have that, you get an opportunity for them to not cross paths. How many times have we seen, Gibson and Jesuit kind of cross paths again, and that sort of thing. So if you don't get the chance, you really should pay attention to Cocoa Beach, Merritt Island. It is going to be a great great duel. And then
And remember, last year, Merritt Island
that's right.
knocked off Zephyr Hills Christian on the region Thursday night by a single point to make it to the state duels. I mean, they know how to step up in those kind of situations.
And if you're on Instagram, I will tell you last year, I got on some stream on Instagram. It was a live feed of Matter Lakes and Cardinal Gibbons and the chippiness that was going
Oh
down
God,
in
yes.
that gym. and what was being said, not suitable for work, not the good thing I didn't have any small children around, but man,
Not
I'll tell you
suitable
what.
for Instagram Live.
Yeah. Certainly I love the fact if anybody is out there and they're there and they're streaming or whatever, man, just drop me a DM.
Yeah,
I will totally
send
log
me
on
that.
to watch some freaking
Tell me you're
wrestling.
live too.
I love it. All right, I'm sorry. I buried
But
the South.
no,
Bay
I wanted you to
Southwest
talk about
Southridge.
them, and then 3A16 we have a Southridge team where I think we know a lot about now. We have a Southwest Miami team, which I think we know a lot about now. They've got Southwest has a lot of parts. They can move guys around. I would say they're the deepest of the three teams, with multiple guys at weights that they can move around. And South Aid, who we surprisingly, we know very little about. They have not wrestled anywhere with a full team yet. And all of their guys that I have ranked have wrestled once or twice at different times. I know they're banged up. I don't know how much of this is saving for today or even for tomorrow. I don't know if they still won't have guys tomorrow. It's a really big question as to what South They might even put out or might be able to put out because of health issues. And then as a full team, is it good enough to compete with the other two teams? It's going to be really interesting.
And this isn't a district that you can come in and not be full strength.
No, exactly.
I mean, this is the best district in the entire state, and
Yes.
you can't come in. I mean, missing a piece or two can kill you, but missing multiple pieces, I don't know how you win, honestly. Daniel, you've been awful quiet.
Yeah. Just
I'm
taking
excited.
It in,
I'm
getting
just
excited.
taking it all in. Learning.
You look so excited, man. You look so excited.
I'm so excited. Look, I'm down here. However,
You gonna stay down there for the tomorrow night's duel?
well, tomorrow night's duel is one thing. Tomorrow night's Miami Ole Miss is another thing.
Who?
Yeah. Yeah. Who?
Is that in South Florida?
No,
No.
but I want to watch it. The real issue I'm going to have is I don't think I'm going to
3A16.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to be out in time because I have to get to South Plantation at 4:30.
Oh yeah, you won't make it down. You won't make it to Southridge.
I have their full media day, and then Western is bringing 7 seniors. So then I have their senior media day. So by the time I get out of there, I'm probably not going to be able to see.
I mean, and let's be
either
fair,
of them.
from South Plantation to Southridge to get there by 6, you probably have to leave at like noon.
Right.
With the traffic down there. So
Right.
I can say that. I grew up there. The traffic's terrible.
As much as I would like to be at that duel, or I'd like to be in front of a TV watching the Hurricanes versus the Rebels, yeah, I probably am going to miss both.
But if anybody is at 3A16
Stream
and you're
Contact
streaming
us.
it, tell me. I want to watch it. I don't care what football game is on. I want to watch.
Yeah.
You only don't care because Ohio State's gone.
Right.
3A16, 1A8. If you guys are and 1A14, all those. If you're streaming them, message me.
Yeah. If Ohio State
Message us.
Slip into my
cut me out.
DMs. See, look at me being hip.
If
Slip
Ohio
into my
State was
DMs
playing
and tell
Ole
me
Miss,
that you're live.
he would be wanting to do that.
That sounds.
I still would watch
just
wrestling
doesn't
over the
sound
game.
right.
I would just have
That
the
doesn't
game
sound
on
right,
too.
Brant. You can't pull that off. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
I'm too old for that.
All right, so
Slip into my DMs.
what we will know is by the end of this week, not even really. I mean, I guess by
Saturday
the end of
night.
the weekend, because there are still a couple over the weekend. We will have our full lineup of teams for the state
Thursday.
duels
No, not for
Um,
state duels, for Thursday.
well, okay, I call it state duels,
So
but
you
I
you call
understand.
say you it's like people call the World Cup. The World Cup is actually the whole tournament. It's the World Cup finals that is takes place at the end there. So yes, the state duels is continuing with the region quarterfinals and the region
Well,
semifinals
okay,
on
yes,
Thursday.
but technically speaking, if
That's
we're
all part of
talking
the state
about
duels.
that, there are teams that go to Kissimmee that aren't part of the state duels because it's a
Technically,
region championship.
based off of official FHSAA nomenclature, yes,
Yeah, and
is
that's wrong.
the region finals are Friday night, and then the state final four and championship are on
Right,
Saturday,
right. But what we will finish, and then we will have those matches next week. That happens on
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, so fortunately, we will get an opportunity to um, come back
Yes.
on for next week's show before that and talk about it.
And if
And
you're
just so you
wondering,
guys,
and if you're a fan and you want to go, it's the odd district champion that has the right to host on Thursday night. I'll be doing my best to confirm that they're all hosting them, just in case there are any scheduling. Usually once a year, there's one that's on Wednesday. So stick to Cabo Wrestling, and I'll confirm all the hosts. But it's supposed to be the odd district champ. Uh, in each pod. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that will host on Thursday night.
and
It'd be
just
3 matches.
yeah, and that's actually how two classifications in the state of Alabama does it. You'll get two first round matches, and then they'll get that next match, the
Yes.
winners to be able to advance. That's the way that you do it in Florida. In the state of Georgia, it's this weekend. All the teams to get together. They wrestle their duels. Two teams emerge Sunday night. They will seed the two teams for all eight of the regions or whatever you call it. And then next thing you know, the following weekend, we will have a seeded state tournament bracket
Oh, that's
at a
beautiful.
place. So they seed theirs.
That's
Florida
beautiful.
does not. Um, you know what? Different places do it differently. It's just the way that works.
I try not to complain too much on it because I know how hard Florida coaches work just to get the state duels against
Right.
a lot of pushback that I felt was unnecessary. Um, so I can't complain too much because we have it, but boy, it would be
Having it
nice
seeded.
to have it seated and have a few changes to make it, I think, even more fun. Have less state titles determined on Friday night and Saturday morning, and have them all determined on Saturday afternoon would be so choice.
Well, not
And
this weekend, but the
it
following
would be
weekend,
good
we
for
have,
the sport.
yeah, the following weekend, we basically have the girls' state duels at Elite
Elite
Eight
Eight
at
tools.
Freedom. It's
Yeah,
basically the
and
girls' state duels.
and right now Georgia is the only one that has the girls official for state duels, and at least they're in the South in my three
Yeah.
states. So I can't wait to see when Florida will actually bring that around again. Like Brant just said, try not to push too hard. I mean, we finally got the girls sanctioned after 40
Way
something
too
years
long.
of actually
Yeah.
having conversations about it. Um, I don't know why the state is so resistant to change on some things. It took forever for the duels. I mean, to put this in perspective, guys, Georgia had duels 20 years before, state duels 20 years before
I
Florida.
mean, it took Florida like that long. I mean, it
I mean,
was
it was
something they were
crazy.
fighting for back when I started covering the sport over 20 years ago. So,
Right. Right. And and South Carolina has had state duels forever, and that's actually how they classify or crown their state champions. They don't crown them in the IBT.
okay.
So, I'm not an advocate of that, but it's just interesting that it takes a while. Anyway, not to belabor it, it is going to be a great week of state duels, regardless of where you are, whether you're in Alabama, you're Georgia, you're down in Florida. Tonight is going to be great. Tomorrow is going to be
So
fantastic.
next weekend is Georgia State duels.
Next weekend is Georgia State duels, and the following weekend, the weekend of Florida's is Alabama State
Alabama's.
duels and Georgia's girls state duels.
Awesome.
And that isn't everything that's happening.
It is
We
not.
have one big event down in the state of Florida this weekend. We do not have any big events really in the state of Georgia.
because that's all
There,
state duels.
yeah, it's all state duels. So let's talk a little bit about Cradle Cancer.
Yeah, I would say looking at schedule, most of Florida on the boys' side, there's a lot of duels tournaments, a lot of smaller duels tournaments. But there is a big one, Cradle Cancer, at Jensen Beach. It seems like every week we get a big one. Uh, you have just a few teams that I noted: Charlotte, Cocoa Beach, Jensen Beach, Tampa Jesuit, Matter Lakes, Miami Christian, Southridge, South Dade, Southwest Miami, St. John's Country Day, Wakulla, Winter Springs, Zephyr Hills Christian, and then even a few more teams that are going to have some top rated guys there. Uh, a really good tournament. I wish I could go to it. I try to go every year, but I've got not issues, but family activities. Um, my wife's starring in a musical, guys.
No, I know, but you just said issues. I like in therapy. You're like,
Yeah, no, family activities, but it's a great tournament. It's well run, and you're gonna get to see some of the folks there that were at Brave, some that were not, and just another weekend for these guys to test each other.
well, and more importantly, you look at the full list of teams, man. Like when we finally have our full brackets,
Yes.
there's so many teams that will be wrestling
Yeah.
is still in the dual series to be a state champion. So, I mean, regardless if they're 1A, 2A, or 3A, that's super cool.
And then on the girls' side, there's another thing, bunch of events. Rusted Jade, Lady Wave, Ladies Clash of Titans, Lady Bear Classic, but the Rusted Jade kind of stands out. Teams there: Brandon, Flagler, Palm Coast, Florida Christian, obviously host Hernando, Lincoln, Middleburg, Riverdale, South Dade, St. John Newman, Sun Lake, and Wakulla are some of the key teams at the Rusted Jade this weekend.
Very cool. Very cool. My parting thoughts, I just want to give you guys real quick before we leave is that Brant did update his rankings, and we saw a lot of big movers of different
Crazy moves.
individuals. One of the names that stood out to me was Bailey Beechler at Charlotte, who made a huge jump. You've got Porter Daniels, Mathis Noel. You got several different names of making jumps throughout the boys and the girls. And you know what? Doesn't matter where you're ranked at the beginning of the year, it's where you finish at the end. And to see these individuals turning it on as the season kind of hits that second half is super important.
Yeah, and about 20 kids entering the rankings.
Yeah.
And those don't even count the kids that are in the rankings because they're just finally certified in wrestling. And a few of those show up this weekend also. But I did not do rankings after week 4. There were only a few events: Bobby Stanley and Vieira's Hawkeye Invitational. So there's a little bit of mix there. But when you have a week and a half of events and a big tournament like the Braves, you're going to have movement. I was shocked though by some of the movement. Just complete upheaval in a few weight classes. If you go look at a few weight classes, they look nothing like they did in week 3, just based on what happened the past 2 weeks. And team results are out. Our team rankings are up today for IBT. I know I've been getting emails from coaches about updating the dual rankings because they won their duels. I will update team dual rankings Saturday night or Sunday morning. Just going to get through all of the district duels and then try to sort those
Make
out
sense of
as
it
we
all.
head into Thursday.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I may not sleep Saturday night. I may just be in sweats all night, like sweating, trying to go through everything to update those. But I want update rankings ahead of Thursday. And then of course state duels. I know you'll be doing a big preview. I'll have a big preview, all that for Florida.
Yeah. Can't wait to do the big preview. I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
It's great.
It's my favorite time of
well,
the year.
I'll be
I have a lot of
media
those,
day
though.
today, media day tomorrow, and then I'll be at the Cradle Friday, and then probably just a couple hours on Saturday, and then I'm going to head down to Sunrise to where the RAF is going. So
You taking pictures?
I am, yes. My media pass got approved, so I'll be there.
Awesome.
And, that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
I wish I was there, man. I really, I mean, if it wasn't so far for me to come, I would totally be there in a second. And to go take pictures of that event and I mean, it's so awesome. I mean, the level of competition is so good. I'm super excited by talking to. I've been doing push-ups, Coach BB. I've been working out, man, since we talked.
He's
I
drinking
mean,
a green drink.
I'm ready to go. I've been doing my smoothie in the morning, protein powder. I'm
Drinking chia
feeling it.
seeds.
I'm feeling
Chia
it.
seeds.
And then I want to make sure that everybody knows. I'm
That media
sure you
state
do.
tournament's going to be hyped. Wait, what?
I was gonna say I'm sure you do, but Dan took a ton of pictures again of Braves. So make sure
Yes.
that if you have not run across those photo galleries, make sure you do because there's a lot of pictures there. So
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. It was, yeah, I was really impressed with the talent, and the level of wrestling was tremendous. And yep, I enjoyed
And
it.
I
But
can't
yeah,
believe they got that girls tournament done in one day. I think it probably needs to be 2 days, but
yes.
well, they had a
I,
match limit, right, on some of them.
yeah, they had a few that, and they had a few that maybe didn't get caught. But, uh, but I mean, but I'll tell you, 14 mats, that boys tournament, 69 teams. They had a girls tournament and a JV, and they were done Saturday. Well, they had the finals set pretty early on Saturday afternoon, and then reset for finals, and got out there at a pretty decent time. So well
well,
done.
they started finals about 4:45.
Yeah. But I mean, they had the
So
final set like before that. Like they got through stuff quick on Saturday.
yeah, well,
And
they were waiting for, there was some matches that had to kind of finish to get to
th-
those three placing matches. And then
yeah, but like the
Yeah.
hour.
they had some JV stuff going on there. And I really think they really wanted to get as much as they can wrapped up so that people could be
Yeah,
there
so
and
they can
watch
watch
those
the finals.
placing matches, because they were just
That was
fantastic.
fantastic. Fantastic performance by them to put on that tournament. I mean, I saw Walker's post. He's like, I can't believe this was like a 16 team 1 day event just a couple years ago, a few years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. All right, so we need to end this, but
Yes.
do you want to take a shot at 3A16, or are we just gonna let it play?
I'll make my pick. I'll take Southridge.
You'll take Southridge over.
Trying to, I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know if they're going to do it
A round
as a
robin or
round
not?
robin or a
Yeah, okay. All right. You'll take
but
Southridge.
I think
That's good enough.
second place team. I'll say uh I'll say Southwest. And then in South Aid will show up with 14 guys and they'll all be healthy and
And
prove me wrong.
they'll win it. And
But
and we'll
whoever
need to send out some
this is
stickers
the
to
thing though.
to
Whoever
South Day.
finishes second is going to get a second chance. On Thursday.
Yeah.
So you
You
just have to get to Thursday.
just have to get in the top two.
You just got to
That's the key.
you got to get to Thursday.
I'll take
Yeah, I'll go
Miami
crazy. I'll go
Palmetto.
crazy.
I'll take Miami Palmetto.
They should be fourth. Hail
All
to
right,
thee.
guys.
Is that-
I'm the only one going on the line. You're not picking?
Is that a good?
Man, I don't
is that
know.
is that a good neutral pick?
Is this why I get all the hate mail? Is that why everybody writes Dan about how he loves him and hates me because I'm the one that makes the pick?
All right. So to be fair to Brant, this really matters as far as matchups go and everything else. I think, man, I don't know. I think Southwest has the deepest team and the most opportunity to move wrestlers around and get the matchups they want and those sorts of things. It really depends on what South Dade brings.
Yeah.
I mean, if South Dade brings what they have brought in the past, I will take them every day. But and if they even bring their crew, I mean, we haven't seen Solis, we haven't seen Guillermo Jaramillo, right? We haven't seen a number of
Jaramillo, I can tell you who we have not seen
like lately. I'm talking about in the last.
Jaramillo
like,
wrestled at Braves.
Oh, okay.
He lost to Chang.
Yeah, I can tell you. Brian Morales hasn't wrestled since Knockout. Caleb Williams hasn't wrestled since Knockout, where he left early with injury. We haven't seen Solis local. We haven't seen Solis high school wise,
Right.
since the Rouse. Armand Williams, we have not seen since the Rouse. Jonathan Moreno wrestled one match at the Braves. And an injury defaulted out of the tournament. Chris Felder, we haven't seen since the knockout. Cameron Haynes did wrestle this weekend. Tyree Graham, we've seen lots of great wrestling from
Yeah,
him.
Tyree's there.
Sebastian Morera, we haven't seen since knockout.
Knockout.
Yeah. So, I mean, all those guys are there.
Right.
Does it
and
tilt?
that to me, that's huge. Like that flips everything. But the reason, I mean, they've been out, so I just don't feel like I can pick them at the moment, right?
That's
And then in the duel between Southridge and Southwest, I don't know. I just think that Southwest has a lot of opportunity to move people around. So, Mick, I'm on board. Like
all right.
we'll see it. Dan, come on, man.
What is crazy is Grant Parsons took Southwest. That is outstanding. Now Mick will say he took us.
No,
I
he
took
took
him second.
Southridge. I took Southwest.
I took Southwest
Oh.
for second. So Mick will still hate me and not
So
want
Mick will still hate you. Yeah. No, Mick
I
loves
love
you.
Mick. Mick's a great guy.
Mick
I'll
is
tell
fun.
you what, we're going to give South Dade to Dan, and that way the three of us.
Yes.
Will I mean, I imagine one of the three of us will be right.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess I'll go South Dade.
There you go.
And you know what? That's such a tough pick.
So South Dade.
Yeah, he'll
South
still be the one
this-
everyone. Thank God this is like an hour in. Hopefully nobody's listening to this. We will not be promoting this section of the podcast.
Coach Tony will hear this.
Yes, he will. All right,
guys.
We'll post this. I'll get a text an hour, 20 minutes after it's been posted. Man, what are you doing picking that?
All right. See you.